Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. I am going to be starting the How to Bullet Journal series today. And if you can't figure out what the first subject is, let me go ahead and tell you it is all about notebooks and the different types of notebooks you can use to bullet journal in. So there is obviously a wide variety. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of depth on each one, but I am going to give you some pluses and minuses on each system as far as I have seen in the past, and sort of give you a rundown so that you have an informed choice on what you think you might like to use. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below along with the notifications bell so that you are notified every single time that I upload new content. I try to upload every Tuesday and Friday with new videos, and I also have a daily bullet journal vlog called Daily Bullets. And if you find this video at all helpful, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button below. If for some reason you don't find it helpful and feel the need to hit the thumbs down button, go ahead and leave a comment with your suggestions below so that I know how you may be better served in the future. Alright, so jumping right in, I am going to clear off my desk here and I will be right back and we will start the notebook comparison. Okay, so now the desk is all cleared off, and what we're going to do is sort of just go through the different options, and like I said, I will give you a couple of my opinions on each system, why I do or don't like them as much, and maybe special items that you might need if you're going to use that particular notebook as a system. So let's jump right in because there are a lot of different types of notebooks here, but let's start with the basics. So these are the basics. I mean, actually, really a 3-ring binder of any type and some loose leaf paper would suffice if that is what you have on you. The most important thing is to find something and to start. But these are also alternatives that you can find pretty much anywhere. This is a composition book that I believe my son used for something, but it comes in a variety of types. There's even a gridded version that you can get from your local Walmart, probably your local Dollar Tree, anywhere you can find something like this. And this is just your regular spiral bound notebook that you would use in any kind of school or class. Anything with paper in it is going to be something that you can use as a bullet journal. And these are, you know, great to get started. Start practicing, find your style, do something like that. And you can do that with a 3-ring binder and notebook paper to just get things started and find your style. But these are probably lesser used because of the quality of the paper. I mean, this paper is not meant to take a whole lot. It's just really meant to write on. So that is the only thing really to keep in mind with this. If you're going to be using markers and pens and things like that, then the paper is just really not going to stand up and it will bleed through. But otherwise, to get started, this is literally all you need. Alright, next up, we have just regular journals that you can find just about anywhere. This is one that I picked up Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's, I believe, the Delusions brand or whatever. So it's the Creative Diary thing. I took the thing off of it, and personally I use it for art journaling and things like that, or starting art journaling. So I mean, the paper in this is really thick. It's gonna lay flat, and you could use it for absolutely anything. It has these little pockets up front, so you know, it's got paper in it. It can be used as a bullet journal. This is a journal also that I've picked up. The paper in it is a little bit different. It's going to hold up more to different types of media. I do some art journaling in these, and so you can see with even with quite a bit of water, I believe this might actually have watercolor paper in it. It's going to stand up to all kinds of things, but these journals can be picked up from anywhere. You can find them at your local bookstore. You can find journals in Walmart. You can find anything. So while they are just probably going to be lined or blank as far as the pages are concerned, these are nice little hardbound options. For those of you who want something a little more structured, we have things like this that come with the actual calendars and weeks and everything printed out in them. It's got the tabs for the different months. Erin Condren makes this. These are going to be your sort of spiral bound planner type notebooks, and I don't actually have an Erin Condren here because I've never actually used an Erin Condren, but I have thought about picking one up. But these are your spiral bound notebooks. Now if you're going to customize these in any way and go outside of just using the regular pages that come in whichever planner like this you choose, you are going to need a special hole punch. They do make these kind of punches, or just a little tip, if you want to be able to pull pages in and out, just use a regular hole punch, maybe put a hole reinforcer on it, and then just cut one little slit that goes from the edge of the page to the hole itself, and that makes your pages removable. So keep that in mind. But things like this are going to be very structured, and you may have a limited amount of creativity, but definitely something that you can bullet journal in. This one is definitely less structured. This is where we're going to start getting into something like a dot grid, but I included it because it is also spiral bound. This is going to fold up from the top though, and it's going to have your dotted pages. Now this one has the circles, and it has perforated pages because they're meant to be used sort of as practice, but obviously this is something as well that you would be able to use as a bullet journal. So I use this book in particular as a pen test book and things like that. So it can be used for almost anything. Definitely bullet journaling though. Most bullet journalers seem to like the dot grid format, and that's what this has. So we're getting closer and closer to the most common used types of journals. Moving on again, these are sort of your binder type notebooks. I have one from Kelly Creates that I picked up recently. I have this one apparently that I got from Becky Higgins, and I'm pretty sure that I picked this up at either a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby also. This one's gonna fold open with all kinds of stuff in it, and then you're still gonna get that structured, almost pre-made look out of these. These are not dated in any way, so that you can use them at any point in time and just sort of date them as you need to. It's got monthly, weekly spreads and things like that in it. It goes through an entire year and then has some sort of card like things in a grid format in different sizes. These are little squares and these are more larger rectangles. So using a regular hole punch, so long as you sort of use these pages as a guide, you can add or remove things to something like this. And I tried a ring bound system. I actually have a Filofax that I used for several months back in, I want to say 2016, maybe early 2017. And I used it for quite a while, and I really like the system because it allows you to sort of go in, customize everything, organize everything, and then the pages are removable. So if you happen to make a mistake, you can just pull that page out, put a new one in. So that is the great thing with that. I can't find my Filofax right now, but I need to sort of figure out where that went. Alright, but this is the same thing. These are going to have 6 rings. You can buy accessories that come ready to go with it, and this is a more unstructured kind of journal. so that you can really fill this up in any way that you want. Add your own pages in, you know, do whatever you want to. Personally, I happen to be left-handed, and the reason that this style of notebook did not really work out for me is because if I tried to write inside the journal, I would bang my knuckles every time, being a lefty on this thing. And even as a righty, if you happen to write on the back of a page, you are going to run into these as well, and that actually gets a little bit painful. So I was like, well, that's okay, because I can pull the pages out and write in it that way. And I did, and that's how I filled out my daily pages. I would pull them out and then put them back in. But then I would find myself leaving pages out randomly, not meaning to. I got tired of fussing back and forth with the rings. So that's why this system didn't work for me, but it works for so many other people. This is just sort of my personal experience with this. Now, when I picked up this Kelly Creates thing a couple of weeks ago, I knew all of these things and picked it up anyway because it was just so pretty. And if I'm not using something like this as my every single day bullet journal, I do actually use them. So I actually have a plan in mind for this one. It is not going to sit here and die or go to waste or anything like that. So, but those are my experiences with these ring bound things. I just got tired of pulling them open and hitting my knuckles. All right, so moving on one more time. These are disc-bound journals, and I have a couple that are really old, and these are your more structured kind of versions. Happy Planner, which is me and my big ideas, the Manby 365 kind of thing. This one might actually be, yep, Create 365, the Happy Planner, me and my big ideas. These are going to be your more structured, sort of already laid out for you calendars. And it's going to have different things that you can do in it. This is currently reading, planning, watching, trying, and all kinds of other things. You're going to get your monthly spreads in each of these, your dailies, your weeklies. So it's got sort of an Erin Condren sort of feel. But the difference between these Happy Planners, because I also used this particular one, actually a couple of them, but this was one of the ones that I stuck with for a while as far as my personal bullet journal. These gave me the satisfaction of being able to do everything a ring bound journal did, like pull the pages in and out, put them back in, but I did not have rings to fuss with because these pages sort of just lift right out, you know, pretty as you please, and then they go back in so simply. So I was really intrigued by this type of journal, and I still use this type of journal for so many things because it is also completely customizable. So you don't have to use these kind of pre-made ones. This is one that I bought the stuff for and just added absolutely everything of my own into. So these also tend to fold up depending upon the thickness of your actual discs and depending upon how much you have it full. I was not really hitting my hand on these rings as much, so it was a lot more comfortable for me. So this gives you sort of the best of both worlds. It's all the pages are removable, it's completely customizable, but you're not really running into these being as much of a hassle as the ones in the ring bound. And plus, I mean, because you don't have to force open and close. Now, if you're going to be pulling pages in and out of these constantly, then this is going to wear out. And you do need a specialized hole punch to go around this, but they're really inexpensive nowadays. I got one on Amazon. I got one at Walmart that I really like also. So you can pretty much find them anywhere. See, this one is a Create 365 one too. That's those. And then I can just give you a sort of peek through, you know, what I did. You can buy different things to go in them. There's different types of paper. You can go with line. You can print out your own dot grid, which is what I did for the longest time, and just add your own stuff in. And if you'd like to see a flip through of, this is January last year, and a flip through of all of my older journals and things like that, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll sort of walk you through a more in-depth look at things like this. And y'all gonna have to excuse the dogs in the background. They love to bark when I am on camera. But different companies make the grids. I put my own dot grid paper in here. I mean, there is just no limit really to what you can do. You can customize your own dashboards and everything. And depending upon the cover, this is a hard cover from, is it Tulle or is it Tulle? I don't know. But the covers are really sturdy in this as well. So those are your disc bound planners. Now, moving into the probably most well-known things, you've got your hardbound planners and your traveler's notebooks. And I'm sort of grouping them together in a sense because I use two hardbound planners in my traveler's notebook setup right now, or at least the one that I use for daily planning. So this is a Leuchtturm 1917. Okay, this one personally took me from, I think it was April to the end of July. Yep, the end of July. So this is, again, the Leuchtturm 1917, probably the most used, well-known bullet journal. So there's not a whole lot to say about this. The upside is that it's completely customizable too, because it is blank except for a dot grid, and you can get these in more than one type. There's a grid, I believe, and blank, and I think even aligned in the Leuchtturm. So there are all kinds of versions of the Leuchtturm, and then there are, you know, the cheaper versions out there, which this is the Recollections version from Michaels. Is it Recollections? It's Artist Loft. It's not Recollections. I keep telling everybody it's Recollections, and then I realize, no, Amanda, you're wrong. It is the Artist Loft notebook, and it is in the dot grid version as well. This has surprisingly great paper in it. This notebook is $5 in comparison to this notebook, which is going to run you right at or just over $20, given depending upon when you actually purchase it. There are not a whole lot of difference in, there's not a whole lot of difference in size. The Leuchtturm is an actual A5. This is a little shorter and a little wider. So, you know, it's just a matter of taste. Like I said, the paper in this is surprisingly good considering, and I use it to sort of take notes and lay out different things. I used it as a comparison recently in a pen test so that people could see on slightly thinner paper whether or not different markers would bleed. So I use these kinds of journals for all kinds of things, but you can use it perfectly for something like a bullet journal. My current journals, like I said, are also hardbound, and they are both Scribbles That Matter journals. The Scribbles That Matters journals are slightly thicker as far as the paper quality than the Leuchtturm. I did a complete comparison between the Leuchtturm and the Scribbles That Matter journal, so just know that these are also dot grid. Dot grid is the only thing that you can get these in, I do believe. I don't believe they come lined or gridded or anything else, but don't hold me to that. If you would like to see a comparison between the Scribbles That Matter and the Leuchtturm, I will link that video down below. But those are my current journals. Not to say that there is anything wrong with any of the other ones. The Traveler's Notebook system are basically nice covers with sort of soft bound journals or hardcover journals, whatever you want to set up inside. These are completely customizable to what you would like. This is the Kelly Creates, it's called a practice journal that I picked up from Michaels. So they're available at Michaels. Michaels has a wide variety of traveler's notebook setups over in their new pen bar. But you can put whatever kinds of paper that you want in them. There are shops all over everywhere that make inserts for them. They come in a variety of sizes. This is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a standard size notebook. This is another cover that I have. It is by Carpe Diem Planners. I think I got this one at Hobby Lobby. So they are everywhere. They come with these elastics inside, and basically you just open up whatever your insert is going to be, hook them on the elastic, and voila, you can arrange your different notebooks in whatever way you want. You can put whatever kind of paper you want in them. I mean, there is really no limit to what you can do with the Traveler's Notebook, and these have become very, very popular recently. So it gives you a lot of options. This one has a dot grid in it. This one is black paper, so you can use metallics and whites and things like that to write on top of it. There's just, like I said, absolutely no limit. Some of the covers that you find will come with things like pin loops in them and pockets, and there are dashboards for them. So really the sky is the limit. If you want sort of a more in-depth look at traveler's notebooks, the different types, the different options available for that, let me know down in the comments below, and I will do a more in-depth version of just traveler's notebooks in general. I will be doing a tutorial on Friday, I believe is when this one is going to hit, as to how I made my personal traveler's notebook cover. I get a lot of questions on that almost every single video. I've got someone asking me how I made this, where I got this cover, and I have another one almost identical to this, so I will be walking everyone through how I made my cover. You can certainly make your cover. There are all kinds of videos here on YouTube on how to make different styles, different types of covers for your own traveler's notebook. You could do it in leather, you can do it in fabric, you can do it, some people use things like placemats, as plastic placemats and everything. The sky is the limit with traveler's notebooks. But that is pretty much all of the different types of journals that I have sitting around here. I think that pretty much covers most of the different types of journals that you could use for bullet journaling. Like I said, all you really need is something that holds any kind of paper that suits your fancy, and a pen to get started with your bullet journal. So don't be intimidated. Don't think that you have to go out and buy top of the line journals. Find your style, and then find the notebook that is going to fit your style. I actually forgot one kind. You also have these pre-made books that are going to come from people like Nicole Laura, David Sinden. These you can find in your local bookstore, and they are basically bullet journals that are sort of pre-made for you. I found both of these, I believe, at my Barnes & Noble. They're going to have all kinds of different papers in them, but they're going to give you a slightly more structured feel as well. Those are a couple of books also that you might want to check out if you want some kind of structure, but not a lot of structure. These are going to have the same drawback as any pre-made calendar though, because you're not going to be able to customize these a whole lot. But I haven't actually used them. I did want to pick them up and sort of review them. So if you'd like to see a review on both of these books, My Little Bullet Book and Bullet It, I will definitely do a review on these. Just let me know in the comments below. Okay, so that is definitely going to wrap up all of the different notebooks. So just a quick summary. We've got completely customizable, any way you want kind of traveler's notebooks. Got traveler's notebooks with hardbound notebooks in them. Got your hardbound notebooks. We have spiral bound notebooks, which are going to be sort of like your pre-made calendars, your Erin Condrens, things like that. We have your disc bound notebook, and we have your sort of ring bound notebooks, and then your pre-made books that have a little bit of structure but not really well, this one has a calendar. All right, so that is all of them as far as I know. Like I said, if I missed one, just go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you have a favorite, I want to know what your current system is looking like. Which one do you think is best suited for your type of style? Let me know that in the comments below. I read and respond to everyone. And I will see you back here Friday for our regular schedule of video releases, and that will be on the Traveler's Notebook cover that I did, and a tutorial on how to do that and create your own out of whatever journal cover you have laying around. I will be continuing this series in the coming weeks, and we'll cover pins and things like that next week. But until then, happy journaling, everyone. Bye.